within this thunderstorm cell. The most dangerous storm near Muskegon and Roosevelt Park around 9:40 this morning. Muskegon Heights and North Muskegon around 9:45 this morning. And again, other areas in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Grand Haven, Grant, and Newaygo.
And important to note that this area of rotation has not quite yet made it onto land, but we've been watching this area of rotation move in across Lake Michigan, and at times it's had a very significant area of rotation. Right now it looks a little bit weaker than before, but there is a small little spot right here just to the west of Norton Shores out into the lake that looks like it could be potentially producing a water spout that, if it were to move onshore, would then be a tornado. Looking at the debris tracker, of course, you're not picking up much when you're headed out in the middle of the lake, but there is a slight difference in what we're seeing in terms of what the radar would think is something normal to see. And then we're seeing these brighter yellows and reds, and that's indicative of something in the air that the radar is seeing that's not what it should be. So there could be definitely a water spout out there that would be moving onshore. So I'm going to go ahead and track this, and I'm going to use this debris tracker as my reference view because it's the easiest thing to see. Sometimes there can be a lot of chatter out there, and it can be a little tough to pick out exactly where the rotation is. And this is moving very, very quickly at about 70 miles an hour, which means that, of course, it'll be out of your hair pretty quickly. But because this is moving so fast, it is going to be not giving us a ton of lead time. So I think I may actually need to back this up a little bit because I am running out of space with this. Okay, let me take this over here. All right, let's redraw this track because this thing is moving very, very fast. Take this all the way out just past the edge of Newaygo County there to give you a little bit of extra lead time, just in case this is moving slightly faster than it appears at the moment. So 9:41 p.m. Michelinda, I sincerely apologize if I misspoke on that. Muskegon 9:44, so you have about 5 minutes or less to get into your safe place. Twin Lake 9:51, 9:56 in Ravenna, 10:02 for Fremont, 10:06 Newaygo, 10:11 White Cloud, and 10:16 p.m. I know that seems far out, but it's not going to be with how fast this is moving. Sand Lake. So if I called out a town that you live in or anywhere close to where you live, go ahead and get into your safe place. You want to go into the basement if you have one, or your lowest floor if you don't, and get as far away from windows as possible. If you have a bike helmet or any kind of other activity helmet, go ahead and bring that for yourself and your children if you have that available. And make sure that you can hear us here streaming on the Fox 17 app, and we'll continue to be with you until this tornado warning expires.
And what the radar does is it picks up the most populated areas. So remember, that is a huge geographic area, and this storm is moving so quickly that you really only have minutes to take cover. So again, if you are located in any portion of Muskegon County, you need to be taking cover right now. If you are located in central and northern Ottawa County, you need to be taking cover right now. If you're located in southern Newaygo County or even into central or northern Kent counties, you need to be taking cover or at least planning to take cover. If you're in a mobile home, if you're in a camper, you just don't have a lot of safe alternatives and you don't have a whole lot of time to react now. Again, this the core of this storm is moving to the east-northeast at 70 miles per hour. And again, it is going to be reaching these densely populated areas within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep, and this is a nasty line of storms, and it primarily is wind driven, especially just to the west of Grand Haven. We could even be seeing some large hail as well, but these little notches that are able to form, which is a little bit hard to see on the reflectivity, but we can definitely see it better here on the velocity. We see some very gusty winds, and then there are definitely some areas of rotation. Also see this one just to the west here of Whitehall. And I want to back things out a little bit too for anybody who might just now be joining us. Now pretty much up and down the lakeshore we have a severe thunderstorm warning for this line that is incoming.
Okay, so we're getting a report here on our Facebook chat that the tornado sirens are going off in portions of Allegan County. Not a big surprise. The National Weather Service has instituted some new criteria that if they are in belief that we will have a severe thunderstorm that reaches the criteria that could cause significant damage, they will sound the tornado sirens just to give that extra layer of notification.
Yes, and this severe thunderstorm warning for Allegan County is for golf ball size hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds, so that elevates the danger aspect of this. And also just kind of looking back out to the west of Saugatuck, this is a very, very pronounced couplet that's about 18 miles away. And this, I would expect to see some kind of tornado warning in the near future if this holds together, because that is a very strong couplet for us.
And we do want to take you to a camera that we have, a camera view we have of Grand Haven at the beach, and you can definitely see that there is a tremendous amount of lightning associated with this storm. Once again, we do have the tornado warning issued, but also we have heavy rain, gusty winds, and a tremendous amount of lightning associated with this storm as well.
Yep. So the core of this storm is just about now moving onshore to Muskegon and Grand Haven. Just now starting to get some of that torrential downpour going on. We can check the velocity here as well. The wind core is still kind of far back, just a little bit, but there is another area of potential rotation that I'm watching just to the west of Whitehall that is not currently what this tornado warning is for. It's for this bowing feature that's moving onshore right now, but there are all these little kinks in this line, and that is what can give us that elevated tornado threat. But definitely what's standing out to me right now are these really gusty winds, and I want to see if I can get some approximate wind measurements on there for you, because this looks like it could definitely be pretty stout. This is not picking up anything huge, but I can tell you that it is definitely going to be really windy when this line comes through.
And so we are here in the Fox 17 Weather Ready Forecast Center. I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Terry DeBoer, along with meteorologist Kara James, and we are tracking a tornado warning that is in effect. And once again, this is in effect for multiple counties: northern Ottawa County, much of Muskegon County, central and southern Newaygo County, and this line of storms is moving to the east northeast at 70 miles per hour. So folks in the path of this storm, you really don't have much time to take cover, and you need to be in the safest spot possible. We're talking about the smallest interior room on the lowest level of your floor, preferably of your home, preferably in a basement, a room without windows, and if you can get underneath something sturdy, that is going to be your best protection.
Absolutely. And with wind, it doesn't matter what kind of wind it is, whether it's rotating or not, it is still trying to bring those pieces of the inside or outside into your house. So you definitely need to make sure you're taking all warnings seriously. Being prepared and staying calm also helps in these kind of situations.
That's right. Okay, so it is currently 9:42. So Muskegon, you're just 3 minutes away. Fruitport, about 5 minutes away. Coopersville, the storm will be in your area within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Sparta, 10:07 the arrival time. Rockford, now currently we do not have a warning for any portion of Kent County, but because of how fast this storm is moving, it would not surprise me that it would maintain intensity and could have possibly a severe thunderstorm warning at least issued for portions of central and northern Kent counties. But again, currently the tornado warning is issued for all of Muskegon, southern Newaygo, and northern Ottawa counties.
One thing, I'm not seeing a ton of correlation coefficient or debris indicator with this. It looks to be honestly just a very gusty line, but the potential of a brief spin up right around Norton Shores, where we're seeing a little bit of curvature there towards Lakeshore Drive, Norton Shores, Muskegon Heights, that general area is where we could possibly be seeing something try to spin up. I think it is more likely that this is just a giant gust of wind, but as we've seen, it doesn't take a whole lot for those tornadoes to spin up really quickly, and all they have to do is just access a tiny bit of rotation, and that could be what's going on right now.
And of course, with this kind of a setup, you know, all day we've been talking about the potential for large hail. In order to have that significant hail potential, it is due to just tremendous uplift potential in the atmosphere. And because of the strength in these individual cells, we will have the potential for some hail. And in addition to that, also the potential for some isolated tornadic activity, which is what is being warned for right now.
Yeah, golf ball size hail, you need a 64-mile-an-hour updraft to keep that stone up in the cloud. So that's a big gust of wind, and then when that hail falls out, all of the wind comes with it, and then we're dealing with golf ball size hail. So definitely could see some, unfortunately, damage. If there is any large hail in there, please let us know. Sometimes this system is not always the best indicator of hail visually. So if you are getting some of that hail, of course, when it's safe, let us know what you're seeing. We still, again, have this tornado warning in place for Ottawa and into northern Muskegon and southwestern Newaygo County until, let's see, this does not want to load the time. There we go, 10:15. So we still have a ways to go with this, but with how quick it's moving, I would expect there to either be an extension here coming up pretty quickly, or to drop it if it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on.
And again, I would not be terribly surprised to have some kind of warning issued for northern sections of Kent County, just because of how fast the storm is moving. May not necessarily be a tornado warning, but again, keep in mind that these severe thunderstorms can always have the potential to produce rotation and isolated tornadoes.
Yep, this is a kind of a wide look of what's going on, because up and down the lakeshore we have severe thunderstorm warnings to account for those gusty winds, maybe some quarter-size hail or smaller, and then of course any of these little kinks in the line that we get a little bit of rotation is where we can get some of those tornado warnings. And putting this in motion, you can see how this area where the tornado warning is moving just a little bit faster than the rest of the line, and that helps to give it a little tiny kick of rotation. And we see that right between Muskegon and Grand Haven, where there is that warning right now. So even with this tornado warning being issued a few minutes ago, we are just really now starting to see that rotation come on shore. So that's why the warnings are given as far in advance as possible, is to give you as much lead time as possible. We're just now starting to see some of that rotation moving onshore. There's a big gust of wind just to the west of Grand Haven as well. So that's going to be coming with some straight line winds. So hopefully everybody is in their safe spot. Right now it doesn't look like there is a lot of rotation, at least in that area, but you can always not count on something trying to spin up within a couple of minutes is all it takes.
Yeah, and we love to focus in and give you as much specificity as possible, but because of how fast this storm is moving, we have to actually widen the view a little bit further so we can show you just how much ground this storm is going to cover in such a short period of time.
Yes.
And again, if you are in the path of this storm, if you're in Fruitport, if you are in Muskegon Heights, if you're in Muskegon, if you're in North Shore, you right now just need to be hunkering down, getting to the safest spot possible, the smallest room on the lowest floor, the smallest interior room. We're talking a closet, we're talking about a small bathroom, any place that does not have a window. Ravenna, Coopersville, this storm is heading in your direction, and then eventually reaching places like Sparta and eventually Newaygo and even into Howard City. So once again, we've got that tornado warning that is in effect for northern sections of Ottawa, all of Muskegon and southern Newaygo counties.
And I have the debris tracker on right now, and it does look like there is something different about it towards Norton Shores. So whether this is a tornado on the ground or just some kind of radar artifact, unsure. I need another couple scans to see, but it looks like that this is an area that could possibly be seeing some kind of potential for tornado on the ground. This is right where the warning is, so that would not be too surprising. This is right where we see this darker red color on the reflectivity, which sometimes can also be an indicator of some more intense portions of the storm. So I want to check with velocity. We also have the gustiest winds going on right now, but with how kind of messy the storm mode is, our debris tracker is probably going to be the best bet. So I'm betting that there could be something happening towards Norton Shores. If you live anywhere in the vicinity of Norton Shores, get in your safe place now. This is a dangerous storm that could be trying to produce a tornado on the ground as we speak.
And folks are saying that the sirens are going off in Fremont now. Not a big surprise there. So again, with this storm itself moving to the east-northeast at about 70 miles per hour, that storm is going to cross a lot of ground
So
in a
fast.
very, very short period of time.
Yeah, I have to zoom out pretty far because we have to be able to fit this track on the screen in order to be able to get it all the way on there.
It's currently 9:49, so Muskegon, the storm is right overhead for you folks. You've got a couple of minutes in Ravenna, 10:10 the arrival time in Newaygo, 10:12 in Sparta, 1024 in Howard City. So again, if you're a little further away from the storm and you have a few minutes and you are not in a sturdy structure, this is an intense storm. It's had a lot of wind. We've had reports of tornadoes on the other side of Lake Michigan in southeastern Wisconsin. So if you are not in a protected place, you need to find a way to get shelter as soon as possible.
This will only be over you for just a minute or two, but it's important for you to be in your safe spot as that's happening. I'm going to go ahead and erase this so that I can take another look at what's going on and dive back into the storm. The worst of the rain and the hail and the wind definitely happening over western Muskegon County right now. There's some really nasty winds though out towards Grand Haven. You're getting the core of the storm coming overhead right now. Over the last 15 minutes, the winds have probably increased pretty significantly. They will start to decrease again as we get past the next 10 minutes or so. But there could also be some areas of potential rotation within here. It does look to be pretty straight line, in my opinion, with the exception of what's happening towards Muskegon and Norton Shores. Looks like that area of rotation, or a couple areas of rotation, are now east of the 31 corridor. So everybody to the west of the 31 corridor is now in the worst of the rain and the hail, but the rotation is a little bit farther to the east. Don't want to neglect any of our other portions of the warning either, but this is definitely the strongest part of this line coming through, and because this is kind of all the way across the lakeshore, we're getting those gusty winds across parts of Oceana County as well, and then we're still waiting for the worst of the storm into Allegan and Van Buren counties. That's still out over the lake.
And you're under severe thunderstorm warning, but again, this very serious, and because of the intensity, some communities, the city of Allegan, folks reporting that they are hearing the tornado sirens going off. Not a big surprise there. National Weather Service officials adopting standards within the last year that allow them to sound the sirens even when the expectation, or when they're not seeing any evidence of rotation or any evidence of an actual tornado, but because of the potential impact of and intensity of the wind.
I'm looking at these little storms that have started to pop up in Allegan County and in Van Buren County, and I don't see anything too significant just yet, but there is some lingering rotation just to the north of South Haven, more towards the Pullman area, that I want to keep an eye on, because over the last couple of minutes, it has shown some broad rotation. It's actually a little bit less now than it was about 5 minutes ago, but also look over here just to the west of Saugatuck. This is most likely a tornado going on over Lake Michigan. So we'll have to watch to see the progression of this over the next couple minutes. Let's see, it's kind of hard to tell what it's been doing. It's broadening out a little bit, but still that rotation definitely there. And looking at this over the last 15 minutes, you can see how quickly it's jumping forward and how we still have the red and the green touching that velocity couplet, indicating the rotation that is present there. I want to take another look.
So now we do actually have that severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Kent County. Not a big surprise there. We talked about it a few minutes ago. Severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County and also now for Newaygo County. So the severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect until 11:15. So once again, these storms likely to hold their intensity as they are rolling to the east northeast, with the intensity of the storm expected to arrive in the city of Grand Rapids by 10:11 this evening.
And this is kind of a good sign for us that they issued a severe thunderstorm warning as opposed to extending the tornado warning. It probably just means that they're doing the same thing we are. They're watching that rotation, kind of looking to see if it's changing and how it's changing, if it's getting weaker or stronger. And right now, this view kind of makes it look more like a straight line wind issue. And that was a previous view saved, so I'm going to go back up this direction, and definitely looks more like a straight line wind issue for us. There are still those little kinks in the line here and there. We're seeing one just to the east of Muskegon, towards the Fruitport area, and then mostly just straight line wind down towards Spring Lake and Clark Corners, and then down towards the Port Sheldon area.
And the National Weather Service issuing that warning for destructive 80-mile-an-hour winds. So again, even if there is no evidence of rotation in any of these.
Yeah.
Those are really nasty winds that can cause significant damage. Once again, if you do happen to have a power line go down in your neighborhood, you have to treat that as though that is the live line. Consumers Energy crews have been staging all day. They do have crews ready to get out and to get the power restored as quickly as possible. But if you do happen to see a downed power line, stay as far away from it as possible, because that downed power line can again with rain, which comes along with these thunderstorms, the water is such a great conductor of electricity that even if you're quite a ways away from any downed power line, you do have the potential for electrocution.
We're starting to see a little bit of rotation try to take shape to me towards Ravenna. I'm going to be watching that very carefully as well, but also want to just kind of give a reset. It's been a little while since we did a reset, so we can go ahead and do that. So the yellow area is our tornado watch across West Michigan. That goes until 3 a.m. We're not going to have severe weather until 3 a.m. This should be out of here probably by 1 o'clock at the latest, but usually they issue it a little bit later just to be sure. But we do have a line of severe thunderstorm warnings going from Oceana now all the way down to Berrien and Cass County, and a tornado warning that continues for portions of Newaygo, Muskegon, and Ottawa counties until 10:15.
And we are now getting word from Consumers Energy crews that we are getting reports of numerous power outages, mainly around Norton Shores, and where Kara, quite frankly, that's where we have seen the core of the most intensity with this storm. Any chance we could call up that Grand Rapids tower cam to look off to the west? We're getting quite, there we go. Ooh. We're seeing quite a vivid cloud to ground lightning show. And again, the storm expected to arrive into downtown Grand Rapids within about the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So again, storm racing to the east. It originally was moving, when it was over Lake Michigan, it was moving to the east at 55 miles an hour, and now moving up to 70 miles per hour. So that covers a whole lot of ground in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I can barely even fit it on the screen.
Yeah, arrival time, Allendale, within just the next couple of minutes. For you folks, Fremont, you have about 10 minutes to take cover. About 15 minutes before the storm hits downtown Grand Rapids, about 20 minutes away from Kentwood. You have about a half hour or so if you're in the Greenville or Stanton areas. Ionia, of course, the further east you are, Portland, you have about a half hour to 45 minutes. So if you are not in a sturdy structure, I mean, if you are in a camper, if you are in a mobile home, we are imploring you at this point to find a safe place to seek shelter from the storm. I mean, even if you have to just head down to a neighborhood restaurant, into a convenience store, into a grocery store, you want to be in a safe, sturdy building when this line of storms passes through. I mean, we're talking winds estimated 70 to 80 miles per hour. And when you see the bowing on the radar like that, that is a good indication that we are seeing some intense winds.
And the very intense winds, with the way that these severe thunderstorm warnings, the verbiage in them, 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. Once we get to about 75 to 80 mile an hour winds, that can flip a mobile home. So that's when this becomes destructive and catastrophic. So that's why it's extra important to get out of mobile homes and campers and get into a more permanent structure that can withhold or can withstand some of those gusty winds that will be coming with this kind of line. Checking the velocity again, looks like we're still just dealing with very, very gusty winds, with the leading edge of this front headed towards Ravenna now, Coopersville, Allendale. If you know anybody who's out driving on the interstate, you may want to tell them it's best for them to pull over and find a safe location so they're not driving into this storm, because it does extend pretty far back into Lake Michigan. It's not like it's just going to be something that's going to be easy for them to deal with on the road. You want to get off the road, get into somewhere that's sturdy, that can withstand these gusty winds. Any reports coming in from?
No reports. We would appreciate it if you have some reports for us. Please send those over to us. Intense wind and rain now going on in the Spring Lake area. We're getting reports the tornado sirens are going off in Allegan County, in Allegan, and also in Plainwell right now. Folks losing power. Teresa, where exactly are you that you lost power? We have had reports of numerous power outages in and around the in and around the Norton Shores area.
Can you check the Grand Rapids Weather Service chat to see if they made any adjustments to this tornado warning? It is flashing, which usually means that they have decided to adjust
They've decided to continue the tornado warning for Newaygo, Ottawa, Newaygo, and Muskegon County until 10:15.
Okay, so they're expecting the potential for a tornado along with very damaging winds, but at this point in time, wind, it doesn't matter again if it's rotating or if it's in a straight line, wind is going to do wind damage no matter what, and you need to be in a safe place. I see a couple different areas of interest here. One of them is towards Twin Lake, and
we're going to do a reset. Do you want to open
something
put the radar
that just kind of popped up. And it is now getting close to 10 o'clock, so thank you so much for joining us on Fox 17 News at 10. It is meteorologist Kara James alongside meteorologist Terry DeBoer tracking this line of severe storms moving across West Michigan, unfolding as expected.
That's right. We have a tornado warning that is currently in effect until 10:15. That is for all of Muskegon County, portions of Ottawa County, and also into southern Newaygo counties. In addition to that, the rest of West Michigan, along and west of the US 131 corridor, under a severe thunderstorm warning. And we're talking about a severe thunderstorm warning, but keep in mind the statements associated with this, the issuance of the severe thunderstorm warning have winds that are estimated to be as high as 80 miles per hour or higher. So definitely the potential for doing some significant damage here.
The good news is these are moving very quickly as well. They're moving at 65 to 70 miles an hour. So once they blow through, you will be out of the worst of the storm, but there's still a lot of really heavy rain and gusty winds even back behind that leading edge. And just watching this over the last 30 minutes since the warnings have really started unfolding, there's a lot of bowing happening right now, anywhere from Fremont down through parts of central Ottawa County and towards Kent County. And what that usually signifies is a couple different things. One, really damaging winds, straight line winds, but then we also get these little kinks in the line that start to happen too towards Ravenna, and there's one towards Allendale, and those are areas where rotation is capable of developing, and then we could also see that tornado threat realized as well. And right now towards Ravenna, which is included in the tornado warning, there is this area of rotation. There's a couple here. I want to see if there's any kind of debris that's popped up over the last few minutes, and it is not super clear at the moment. Sometimes we need a couple of different scans to see what all is going on, but there's some very, very gusty winds coming in. Conklin, you're also getting some of that really gusty wind. Coopersville, Allendale, this is happening right now as we speak. And with this storm moving at 60 to 70 miles an hour, it is coming fast and it does not give you a lot of time to get in your safe spot. So I'm going to do another track because this just changes so quickly with how fast the storms are moving. I'm going to give you a little bit of a faster track to give you a few more minutes of lead time to get into your safe place. But this is right on top of you, Holland. Newaygo, you have less than 5 minutes until the core of the storm is right over you. Grand Rapids, the city center at 10:19, but we're going to start to get the rain and the gusty winds, especially on the western side of town, a little bit earlier than that. Big Rapids, we're looking at 10:32 p.m., so you have about half an hour. I would play it a little bit safe and maybe go for 25 minutes or so just in case. 10:33 p.m. Greenville, 10:49 if this holds together Ionia, but these storms have been moving very, very, very quickly.
And we have seen them actually, the same exact storm system did produce reports of tornadoes. We've seen damage coming in out of across the lake in southeastern Wisconsin. So once again, there's every confidence, all of the evidence reporting to the potential that these could be tornadic thunderstorms. In addition to that, we've had concern all day because of the strength of the updrafts associated with these storms, that we could be looking at some ping pong ball sized to even golf ball sized hail coming along with some of these storms.
And it looks like we have new tornado warnings that were issued for Allegan County as well. Is that what I'm seeing? It's a little bit tough to tell with so much going on. Yeah, the southern half of Ottawa County and northern Allegan County, that is a brand new warning, including Holland. So I'm going to look at this in more detail as well.
Yeah, tornado warning has just been issued for northwestern Allegan County and southern Ottawa counties in effect. And this a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Holland State Park. That's 7 miles west of downtown Holland, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. This dangerous storm approaching Beechwood and downtown Holland around 10:05 this evening, and in Zeeland around 10:10. So I mean, literally, you just have minutes to take cover. Storm likely holding together and racing to the east-northeast, including to places like Hudsonville, Jenison, Walker, Grandville, again, eventually approaching Hudsonville, Byron Center.
So this is likely a waterspout moving onshore as we speak. It's that area of rotation. You can very clearly see the greens and the reds, and it's actually getting so fast that it's kind of on the yellow scale of the red, which is how you know there's a lot of rotation there. So putting this track on, showing you those areas. If you live anywhere close to these spots, get in your safe place now. This has some of the, it's under here at the station. This has some of the highest amounts of rotation of anything that we've seen so far this evening.
And keep in mind that because it is dark now, tornadoes are very difficult to see and confirm at night. So do not wait until you actually see anything. Do not wait till you actually hear anything. We do have a camera that is in downtown Holland that we're going to be able to show you just again how heavy the rain is coming together and also the gusty winds. And you can see downtown Holland, virtually a ghost town now. Fortunately, everybody inside taking cover. And as you can see, again, the storm is hitting downtown Holland as we speak.
Yeah, you can see the rain kind of going sideways in the lights there, with how gusty the winds are, the traffic lights swinging on the line. Really gusty night.
And we're starting to hear the emergency system is taking over.
The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Allegan County in southwestern Michigan, southern Ottawa County in southwestern Michigan, until 10:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
So once again,
at 10:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Holland State Park, or 7 miles west of downtown Holland, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar-indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roof, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Holland, Beechwood, and Holland State Park around 10:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Zealand around 10:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Hudsonville, Jenison, Walker, and Grandville. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. Tornadoes are extremely difficult to see and confirm at night. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now.
Just so that everybody in Grand Rapids, especially on the west side of town, can get some early warning. So right now, Borculo is where this is.
Borculo, Blendon Township, heading toward the Hudsonville area. Kara, I'm quite concerned just because it was such a beautiful day. Folks could be camping out there at Holland State Park, and where we're seeing the evidence of rotation there on the radar scan, not terribly far away from Holland State Park. So hopefully folks have heeded the earlier concern and have found some safe shelter, but unfortunately that is definitely not a great place to have rotation showing up.
No. Also concerned about this area of rotation that is just about to move into Kent City. It's still in very, very eastern parts of Muskegon County right now, right along M46, slightly to the south towards Casnovia. But this little area of rotation also looks to be pretty mean, and I don't think that what the debris tracker is showing right now is real, but looks like there might have been some potential debris lofting about 10 minutes or 5 minutes ago with this little storm, or this little part of the storm. So I want to make sure that everybody in the northwestern parts of Kent County is aware of that little area. And this is part of our original tornado warning that's currently set to expire at 10:15. But based on this, I would not be surprised to see that get reissued, just because this looks like it's kind of hanging together. So I'm going to go ahead and do a storm track just for that area. Actually, no, I'm going to erase that because I think that was a little bit off, and I want to make sure that it's a bit more precise. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm going to drag this out a little bit farther so you have a bit more of lead time just in case. But 10:15 p.m. Kent City, this little area of rotation, which could be a possible tornado, is going to be right in your area. So seek shelter now. Get into the lowest level of your home. far away from windows, just as quickly as possible with you and your family. Solon, is that how you say that? 1025. 1030.
Solon Township. Then Sand Lake, 1033. It'll be approaching your area. And again, you know, typically when these storms come in the evening hours, we anticipate they'll be weakening. The atmosphere is primed for this kind of storm to continue to maintain its intensity, and they're moving so fast that it's not a big surprise that we're seeing warning after warning being issued as this line of storms is racing to the east.
Right. Want to give a little bit of a reset so we can kind of show everybody who might just now be tuning in what's happening here across West Michigan. We have a line of severe storms extending now into parts of all of Newaygo and Kent counties, and then our warnings go all the way down into our Indiana state line counties. We have 2 tornado warnings. One of them is about to expire at 10:15, and that is on the eastern edge of Muskegon County, right as it borders Kent County. That's where there's an area of rotation that I'm concerned about. And then we have another one that was recently issued for southern Ottawa County and then northern Allegan County.
And that one's in effect until 10:45 this morning. Yeah. And that one, again, does have the evidence of rotation. We're definitely picking that up and seeing as that continues. And it's heading toward areas that are decently populated. I mean, this isn't one where this storm's going to, if it does end up producing a tornado, that it's going to hit an area that's not very populated. We know these are very populated areas that this storm is heading toward.
Over the last few minutes, it looks like the rotation has broadened out a little bit, but not enough to not be concerned that it could hang together as it continues to move to the north and east. Again, giving you these tracks pretty quickly and frequently because the storms are moving so quickly that those times are very soon invalid after we initially talk about them. But 10:36 p.m. Allendale, so you need to be in your safe place now. Jenison 10:44, Riverview also at 10:44. Walker and Grand Rapids anytime between 10:49 10:54. This storm will be headed your way. And then don't forget too, we also have some storms that are really gusty right now that are knocking on our doorstep too with gusty winds. So multiple hazards going on right now across West Michigan.
And as you can see here, Kent County, we're getting reports in our Facebook Live chat room that we do have the sirens going off in portions of Grand Rapids. By the way, yeah, if you're in the path of this storm and is not passed you by yet, you are in the path of this storm, remember to take shelter. You want to be in the smallest interior room on the lowest level of your home that does not have any windows, and you want to be underneath something sturdy. Again, these storms have had the history of producing tornadoes across the lake in Wisconsin. We've not gotten any reports of hail yet, but we have had reports of some power outages, and again, very suspicious that we perhaps could have already had a tornado with one of these cells.
Yes, and I'm also looking at our counties to the south towards the Indiana state line. Don't want to neglect any of you guys, and those severe thunderstorm warnings did get put into effect a little while ago, but that was to give you some advance notice. These are just now starting to move onshore towards Benton Harbor and some of our coastal communities into portions of Berrien County. So want to let you guys know you're still also under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the storms have just now started to move onshore. And I think we got an update to our tornado warning as expected. That little area of rotation that I was watching towards Kent City, that tornado warning did get extended because of the way that this area of rotation looks. It certainly looks to be the most significant one that we have here in the area at the moment. Thankfully, taking a look at our debris tracker, it's getting a little bit messy. The closer to the radar that we get, it's a little tough to see exactly what's going on, but it looks like in the last 10 minutes or so, there's possibly some debris that could have been lofted. Of course, that could also be wind damage because our winds are very, very strong along this line.
So again, the tornado warning that's been issued for northern Kent County, southeastern Newaygo County, and northwestern Montcalm County. This in effect until 10:45 this morning. Storms are heading toward Newaygo and Sparta. I think that's exactly the cell you've identified, Kara, and around 10:15, and then Howard City around 10:25. again, move to a basement, an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Concerned very much for people who may be in a mobile home or a camper, because even if the storm does not end up producing a tornado, we have winds here with this line of storms, 70, 80 mile an hour winds, which can do some significant damage.
Yeah, that absolutely can. And that's something that not all severe thunderstorms have. Most severe thunderstorms have winds of 60 miles an hour, which is very strong. But these, once you get to 70 and 75 mile an hour winds, those can do damage to a lot of different things. I'm looking at this area of rotation. It's a little bit harder to identify now, but this happens sometimes with these little quick spin up tornadoes. It was very evident near Ravenna, very evident even near Kent City, but over the last 5 minutes, this is kind of pushed out to be more of a straight line wind at the moment, but that doesn't mean that it can't try to re-spin up in just a couple of minutes, because we're very much still in that environment where we could have severe storms.
Kit, did you say 25,000 or 45,000? We have 25,000 Consumers Energy customers reported to be without power right now. Okay, so it looks as though at least a portion of this tornado warning has been scaled back. The one for southern Muskegon and northern Ottawa counties, that is has been
Northern Kent County in
has
southwestern
expired,
Michigan,
allowed to expire.
southeastern Newego County
Is it
in west
been
central
replaced by a
Michigan,
severe thunderstorm warning?
northwestern
I think it was
Montcalm
just the
County in
leftover
central
original
Michigan
severe
until
thunderstorm warning that
10:45
goes
p.m.
until
Eastern Daylight Time.
10:45. So
Okay.
they
At
issued that
10:12
first
p.m.
and then
Eastern
the
Daylight
tornado
Time,
warning after
severe
it.
And again,
thunderstorms
northern
capable
Kent
of
and
producing both
southern,
tornadoes and
southeastern
extents
Newego
of straight line wind
and
damage were located along a
portions
line
of
extending from
Montcalm
Newego to near
counties under
Sparta,
a tornado
moving east
warning.
at
That
50
is the line
miles per
continuing
hour.
to very rapidly press to
Hazard,
the east.
tornado.
Yeah, this thing is moving really,
Source,
really quickly.
radar
It looks like
indicated
from
rotation.
Newego south towards
Impact.
Sparta
Flying
and now
debris will be
Comstock
dangerous
Park
to
and the
those
northern
caught without
parts
shelter.
of Grand Rapids, that
Mobile
this is
homes will be
mostly
damaged or
a straight
destroyed.
line wind issue, but there are
Damage to
some
roof,
pockets of really
windows,
gusty wind
and
towards
vehicles
Englishville
will
and the
occur.
Alpine area and Sparta as
Tree
well.
damage
So
is
straight line
likely.
winds definitely coming at a
These
good clip,
dangerous
60, 70
storms will
miles
be
an hour.
near
But this
Newego
whole
and
area
Sparta
towards
around
White Cloud,
10:15
Fremont,
p.m.
Newego, and
Eastern Daylight Time.
that little area
Howard
of
City
rotation,
around
I'm going to be
10:25
watching this.
p.m. Eastern Daylight
It's a little
Time.
too weak to show anything
cover now.
outside of just looking
Move
at the
to a
velocity and
basement
keeping
or
an
an
eye on it.
interior
But
room
this
on the
one
lowest
definitely
sturdy
looks
building.
like we could have
Avoid
something
windows.
that needs to be watched.
If you are
I'm going to take a look a little bit further back now, do a bit of a reset. We have a lot of moving parts here.
A lot of moving parts, and a lot of things moving very, very rapidly.
Yes.
And so this is so rare. I mean, Kara, we've got oh, here we go. We've got some local storm reports now. We've actually had verified winds of at least 70 miles per hour in the, let's see here, in Grand Haven, 70 mile an hour wind gust, Norton Shore, 61 mile per hour wind gust, Whitehall, 57 mile an hour wind gust, and in the, and we have, again, with that kind of wind, not a huge surprise that we're seeing those reports of power outages.
Yeah, makes total sense with getting all of those reports coming in. So taking kind of a wider look here, we have 2 active tornado warnings at the moment. One of them for southern Muskegon County and northern Allegan County, and this one is in effect, I believe, until 10:45. Let me double check
10:45, yeah.
that one for you.
Yeah, they're both until 10:45.
So 10:45, 30 more minutes for both of these, and this is all coming from the same line of thunderstorms capable of producing damaging straight line winds and tornadoes. So we do have severe thunderstorm warnings pretty much up and down the lakeshore, really all the way to 131, areas 131 and east. Nothing just yet, but this line is coming your way, and it is coming fast. We have storm motions on this line at about 60 to 70 miles an hour. So I'm going to show a wide view here and make sure that we're getting everybody in the view here. Do we have any additional information?
I don't have any. I don't have any reports out of the out of our Facebook Live group of any damage, but a lot of communities with the sirens going off. And again, when you hear those sirens, it's a good indication that you need to be inside your safe place. Again, inside the smallest room on the lowest level of your home without any windows. Of course, you want to put as many walls between yourself and the outside of the building as possible. And once again, you can just see how very quickly this line has moved to the east.
Yes, and I'm still tracking this area of rotation just to the east of Holland. It has broadened out a lot though, which that is a good sign of hopefully that rotation weakening. However, it's definitely still there. So we're just keeping an eye on it. This still is part of that tornado warning that goes until 10:45. So 10:32 p.m. Jamestown, 10:41 this will be right around the Byron Center area, 10:45 Moline, 10:46 the Spectrum Health South Pavilion, if that is a significant location to you, 10:46 p.m., 10:48 Kentwood, and 10:51 the Dutton area. So we still have a ways to go, unfortunately, with all of these storms that continue to move across West Michigan. They are making progress. I want to look at the correlation coefficient to see if there's any indicators of debris here. I don't see anything at the moment, and just a little area of potential rotation towards Cedar Springs coming up to the 131 corridor. So I'm going to look at this one a little bit closer here. Put this.
You know, and it's interesting, we get so hung up and so fixated on the idea of tornadoes, and while of course that's a huge important thing for us to focus on, keep in mind that even without a tornado, we have winds here that are estimated to be 70 miles per hour, which can also cause widespread damage. A number of trees and power lines, not a big surprise, starting to hear about tens of thousands of consumers' energy customers without power. And again, this line continues to move eastward very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm concerned about this little area of rotation towards Cedar Springs. I want to go ahead and put a track specifically for that point, because that's where I think there could be, if there's any kind of rotation or tornado trying to form, that's where it would be. That's right on top of Cedar Springs right now. 10:29 p.m. the Nelson area, and 10:33 the Huggard School. 10:39 p.m. Spencer, Goen at 10:43, and 10:47 p.m. Turk Lake. That would take it out of the tornado warning, but we've continued to see these get extended as we move to the east. We still have a very productive environment in terms of severe weather, so there's nothing to suggest that we will see these weaken, unfortunately. And in fact, we did just get the severe thunderstorm warning extended to the east for Big Rapids and Mecosta County.
Yeah, Mecosta County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 11:45 this evening, anticipating the potential for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts associated with them, with that area of thunderstorms moving through. So once again, for Mecosta County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11:45 this evening.
And I want to look at some of our southern counties here. We just now are starting to see some of the rain and gusty winds move onshore after being under severe thunderstorm warnings for quite some time. And it looks to be primarily a gusty wind threat here. I want to look at some of our wind speeds, but I don't see them to be nearly as strong as the northern portions of the line where we're seeing some of those 70-mile-an-hour winds. These are definitely much weaker than that. Still going to be on the stronger side. I think this computer kind of underestimates some of those winds. But for Berrien and Van Buren and now into Cass County, we're getting a lot of lightning. We're getting that push of gusty winds, and watching some spots here in Van Buren County. Even though most of this is straight line wind, you see green on green, but it's different colors of green. There may be something that's trying to spin up there, so I'm going to keep watching that.
And we do have a live picture here that we are able to show you. This one is coming in from Allegan County. This is right near the Gun Lake Casino, and you can see a whole lot of lightning there that is starting to show up. And once again, a little bit of wind showing up as well. But again, the big story currently is a whole lot of lightning that you can see off in the distance there.
Yeah, and that's this little area of rotation right here, still holding together a little bit more broad than it was when it first came onshore. So that part is definitely an encouraging sign, but we still have about 20 more minutes left on this tornado warning, so not out of the woods just yet. Continuing to look a little bit farther up the pike here, and the spot that does stick out to me is this one little area of rotation near Cedar Springs, so I'm continuing to watch that as well. Up into a lot of Newaygo County though, really, really gusty winds pushing through the White Cloud area right now. Newaygo, you're in the clear of the gustiest winds, but it is certainly producing some pretty gusty winds from the look of the radar here. Going to take another look a bit wider so that we can give a little bit more perspective, because that map in the corner showing all of the tornado warnings illuminates the entire county, and sometimes not the entire county is included in that warning. So it's important to kind of show where we have everything at the moment. So until 10:45 p.m. both of these tornado warnings do continue, although they're starting to kind of push towards the eastern edge of the warning, like that little area in let's see, I'm trying to find it up here, over towards Cedar Springs. That's halfway through the warning at this point in time. So if you are in the northwestern part of Kent County or into far southeastern Newaygo County, you are not affected by this tornado warning. It just continues to be areas along and east of 131 in Kent County, and then moving towards Montcalm County, where this little area of rotation is trying to go. It's kind of hard to tell what it's been doing over the last 10 minutes or so. It's such a small area of rotation. Looks like it's hanging on, I guess, enough, but still overall, I think a lot of what we're dealing with tonight is of the gusty wind variety.
Well, and the interesting thing is that our primary area of coverage is 14 counties. And so we actually, by the time this entire line has pressed through, a portion of every single county will have been impacted in some way by at least a marginally severe thunderstorm.
Yeah. Let's see if we have any other reports that have come through. A lot of reports back to the west, where Terry, you were talking earlier about some of those confirmed tornado reports coming out of Wisconsin. We can see them here just to the south of Wausau, but not a whole lot of additional reports.
We don't have any hail reports here, which is really surprising. We were really talking about that. We did have a number of hail reports across the lake in Wisconsin, but no hail reports here in West Michigan yet. Thunderstorm trees down. Let's see.
This is just over the state line into northwest Indiana, so not quite, just barely outside of Berrien County. There was some significant tree damage, and a mobile home possibly got that tree on it. In Berrien County, though, it looks like there was some wind damage reported, probably pretty close to the shoreline at 10:13. So that's a pretty recent recent report of wind damage. Unsurprising given all of the gusty winds that are pushing through with this line. I'm going to try to get the computer back. It's been thinking through a lot of data today, and it's starting to slow down a little bit.
Not a big surprise. It's been a really busy day, and that's why we've at least for the most part, have turned off the lightning data. But if you wanted to turn that on quickly and show people exactly the intensity of these storms that are pressing through the region. And you can see right along the lakeshore, we're starting to see the back edge of the storms start to clear our lakeshore communities. And the heaviest of those, again, right now, right along that US 131 corridor, it appears. So where you see the very active lightning strikes, that's an indication of the most significant intensity with those storms coming through right now.
So much lightning that we can't even see the storms, which is why we usually turn it off.
Have to turn it off in a situation like this, but just wanted to turn it on for a few minutes just to give you an idea of what's coming in. Also, if we could get that tower cam pulled back up again. We're looking due off to the west out over the Ford Freeway, and that tower cam really show you a lot of lightning as it is as the line of storms is pressing into toward the downtown Grand Rapids area. So once again, looking at a whole lot of lightning out there and a whole lot of
gusty winds coming into Grand Rapids as we speak. So yeah, I would expect it to be getting a little rowdy out there. Looking at our reflectivity, we're getting very close to the radar, so sometimes the data doesn't look as good, but getting that leading gust of wind coming into 131 as we speak. So from Rockford down through Comstock Park, downtown, and Wyoming, you're already getting the gusty winds. But Kentwood, Byron Center, all of the gusty winds and the intense rain and maybe some of that smaller hail starting to pick up as this line moves into the heart of Kent County.
Are you able to do a tracker? If you're in places like Caledonia or Ada or Lowell, you have not seen the storm yet, but it is rapidly coming in your direction. And again, remember the leading edge of the storm running at about 70 miles per hour. That is a lot of distance that it is going to be covering in a very short period of time. So once again, if you are in the path of the storm, and that is really pretty much all of West Michigan, make sure that you are finding a safe spot, finding your safe spot and taking cover. And of course, a couple of these storms still under tornado warnings. Wind right now appears to be the primary lingering threats, but again, under tornado warnings still for about the next 15 minutes or so. East Grand Rapids, the arrival time for you folks within minutes, literally. Caledonia 10:36, Greenville 10:42, Stanton 10:46, into Sheridan at 10:49, Ionia a little before 11, Portland a little after 11, and then finishing up this particular distance tracker 11:04 in Alma.
So a lot of spots still to go, and that was showing you the arrival times and putting it into motion. This is only a 30-minute loop, so we've covered an entire county just about from the middle part of Ottawa County through the middle part of Kent County in 30 minutes. So very, very quick moving storm system. Primarily wind damage, as Terry said, but there are some areas of rotation kind of embedded in here, which is why we have those tornado warnings that are in place as well. And we still see some of that going on towards Cedar Springs and Sand Lake, but over the last 10 minutes or so, and Terry, you can tell me if you agree, but I have seen what appears to be a little bit of weakening, kind of pushing out more of a straight line wind hazard. There,
I agree. You know, and oftentimes, especially with the line that moves so quickly, the leading edge of the storm gets so far away from the quote-unquote parent storm that it loses that upper level support to keep any kind of rotation potential going. So not a surprise that now we have gotten so far into the storm system that we're starting to lose some of that upper level support for the rotation to continue.
Yeah. I want to keep looking a little bit more here at parts of Kent County because we have that severe thunderstorm warning, and computer decided to do a little thinking again. Okay, now we're back. We have this.
Okay, we've got some video coming in from Muskegon, so we can take a look at that and see. Wow, you can see the intensity here. A lot of wind again in Muskegon County. That's where we did have reports of winds gusting 55 to 60 miles per hour, and also in the Norton Shores area, reports of numerous thousands of people without power. So not a huge surprise that we're seeing this intensity coming through with the video we have. You can almost see the rain. The winds are so strong, the rain's almost coming in horizontally.
Yeah, that is some intense rain and a lot of lightning. It's a good thing that this person was indoors taking that video, which of course, close to the window during a severe thunderstorm warning, maybe not the smartest decision, since we always advocate for taking shelter somewhere away from windows, but thank you for that video and glad that you were remaining safe during this storm. There are a couple of little storms that are getting ingested into the main line here towards Van Buren County, towards Cass County, and even into parts of Allegan County that sometimes when this happens, the storms interact with each other and can spin up a little bit. So I'm looking to see if that is going to produce any additional areas of rotation. And as of now, there's nothing too concerning to worry about, but always along that leading edge is the potential for some rotation to happen. We're now starting to get some of that torrential downpour here at the station.
Yeah, we can hear it on the rooftop. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see if we can see anything different that's happening. Haven't looked up here towards northeast Kent County and western Montcalm County in a minute. Howard City, areas east of Sand Lake, Cedar Springs, you are in the heavy rain, possibly the hail. But in terms of any kind of rotation, there's a little bit of it left just to the east of Sand Lake, kind of riding the line between Kent County and Montcalm County there, but this looks to be pretty weak in comparison to what it was like before. We do still have this tornado warning in effect for another 15 minutes, but we'll see what they end up wanting to do with it after that. I could see hopefully just an extension of a severe thunderstorm warning, since the rotation does kind of appear to be on the downturn, but until we're totally done with this system, you can't ever completely rule anything out. Moving up to the north, though, towards Big Rapids, it looks like this portion of the 131 corridor is just going to be impacted by gusty winds.
And we're getting some reports, some local storm reports in Spring Lake, Ottawa County, a wind gust, let's see, 59 miles an hour. In the Leadington area, 52-mile-an-hour wind gust. In Holland, a report of a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust, and now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's just been issued. For the first time, we find Barry County and Kalamazoo counties coming under severe thunderstorm warnings, and those will be in effect. Let's see,
Ionia County as well.
Until midnight. So again, we've got Ionia County, Barry County, Kalamazoo County under severe thunderstorm warnings until midnight. And the biggest hazards here, these are moving to the east now at 55 miles per hour. The line actually extends from 7 miles south of Howard City to Kentwood to near Decatur. So that is quite a huge geographic distance, all the way from Montcalm and Mecosta counties all the way down to Van Buren County. Moving to the east now at about 55 miles per hour. So
we have a brand new tornado warning, including Kent County and Grand Rapids. So I want to see if I can get our timer bar here on to talk about how long this is in effect until 11:15, and this is moving 45 miles an hour to the east. So this is a little bit of a slower moving portion of this line. I'm going to go ahead and take off this. Take off. Whoop. And do some analysis.
Okay, well, you're doing that. Kit, Kit's our executive producer. Hey, Kit, I know we have a crew down by the Gun Lake Casino. They are now in the path of this tornado warning. I want to make sure, verify that they are actually in a safe shelter and not just in their vehicle. So again, this storm is moving to the east, heading toward Kentwood, Caledonia, and the Ford International Airport in the path of this storm as well. So
I believe it's this area of rotation just to the south of Granville. It's a little hard to see. We're getting really close to the radar, so for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we may not be able to see a whole lot, but there is what looks like some rotation just to the west of Kentwood, which is probably what this warning is for. Can't see much on our correlation coefficient, but we have just a little bit of a kink in the line here, and that is enough in this kind of situation to spin up a little tornado possibly.
And remember, because it is now after dark, tornadoes, and especially now these are rain wrapped, very difficult to see. So you need to be in your safe spot. If you are hearing a siren, even if you're not hearing a siren, if you're in southern Kent, in Allegan, in Barry counties, you need to be in your safe spot now. And by safe spot, we mean in the smallest interior room of your home, of your structure, on the lowest floor, away from windows, and you need to put as many walls as you can between yourself and the exterior of the building. And we say the smallest room, the smallest interior room, because that will tend to have the most structural integrity. It'll be the most supported by the least amount of surface square footage for each of those exterior walls.
It's actually for this area of rotation that now is very apparent just to the south of Byron Center. So this is really kind of in between Burnups and Dorr right now, but that's probably the strongest velocity couplet that we've seen this evening. Maybe a little bit of debris showing up there just to the north of Hilliard's
Corner. Yeah.
It looks like there's two scans, and it kind of matches up with the area of rotation that we're watching, so I would not be surprised if there was a tornado trying to develop or even already on the ground. In these situations, like Terry mentioned, with these rain-wrapped tornadoes, it makes it really difficult to see a whole lot on reflectivity as well. It just kind of looks like a big blob of rain and wind, but it's when we look a little bit closer into the storm in the velocity and looking at that debris tracker, that's where we can get a better idea of what's going on. So I'm going to track this, widen it out a little bit so we can get a bit more of a perspective. And for everybody watching here from the Grand Rapids area, you can see that towards the center of the screen. So this area of rotation is to the southwest of Byron Center, where the green and the red are intersecting there. So we'll track this out to the east at about 45 minutes from now for when this warning expires. So Moline, this is going to be right on top of you in less than 10 minutes, so get into your safe spot now. Green Lake, 10:51, 10:58 p.m. Caledonia, 11:13 p.m. Freeport, 11:19 p.m. Clarksville, and 11:24 p.m. Saranac. So this area of rotation, hopefully we'll get a new scan here coming up and we can get some more information, but this looks to be a dangerous storm that will be pushing through the southern parts of Kent County and the southern suburbs of Grand Rapids very soon. I don't see anything on debris at this moment.
And keep in mind, even if there are no confirmations of tornadoes with this, the wind with this kind of a setup in the atmosphere, we're talking winds of 70 to almost 80 miles per hour. So likely significant damage being caused as this line of storms moves through.
Yes, this is right on the county line. So moving right towards the 131 corridor. In fact, it's already there, kind of in between Byron Center and Wayland. They're on the county line, moving quickly to the east at 45 miles an hour. I also want to do a quick recheck to make sure that we're not missing anything else, just in case, but it looks like everything else remains the same. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for most of West Michigan at this point in time for this line of thunderstorms, with the nastiest part of the line approaching Grand Rapids, southern Kent County, northern Allegan County, and that's where we find our...
And northern Berry
in
County,
Berry
from
County.
Hastings up toward Middleville in that area.
This does look like a decent area of rotation. You can see the bright reds and the bright greens indicating wind coming towards the radar and then moving away, making that rotation signature. Right on top of 131 right now is where this area of rotation is. I want to take a wider look just to make sure that we're not missing anything else in this general vicinity, but it looks like we're clear there. It's hard to tell when we're so close to the radar with any kind of debris, but there is a little area that matches up very close to Ross. That's pretty close to where this couplet is at the moment. I want to back it up over the last 15 minutes and see its progression.
And with that last outbreak of tornadoes we had, there was a confirmed tornado not terribly far away from there at 100th and Division. So once again, that area is now under the gun once again for another suspected area of rotation and possibly even another tornado. And even again, even if there aren't any confirmations of a tornado, there likely is going to be some very significant wind damage, likely lots of power outages, so keep that in mind.
Yes. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that I got a better track here that was more accurate.
Okay, so here you go. This is moving to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So in about 12 minutes, Caledonia, Alaska at 10:57. The storm will be knocking on your doorstep. Alto 11:04, Freeport 11:08, Clarksville at 11:14, and into Saranac, if it holds together, at 11:19.
Go ahead and take this off and put everything back into motion. Definitely looks like it has a little bit more of a northeast track, which would take it right there through Caledonia. I want to see if there's anything. You can see a little bit of a notch right here.
Yeah,
where
that
we're
looks
seeing,
suspicious.
Yeah, it definitely looks suspicious, where there's a little bit of rotation, and you get the bend in the line that we see between Kentwood and then kind of south of or west of Caledonia. We get that little notch and then it bends out again. Any of those little kinks in the line is what helps to get some of those spin ups to happen. So it's not surprising that we have a tornado warning here, because that area of rotation does look pretty stout.
And once again, you do need to be seeking shelter in a safe, sturdy building. I mean, we are talking in some parts of West Michigan. We have a few minutes to take cover. You want to be in the smallest interior room on the lowest floor of your house, and put as many walls as you can between yourself and the outside of your structure.
Yep, and ideally just stay there until we give you the all clear, which is going to be a little while here for this one. Looking to see if I see any major changes in the last couple of minutes, but this is probably the strongest area of rotation that we have across West Michigan. I'll do kind of a reset so that we can see a little bit more of what we're looking at. But most of this is just gusty winds, heavy rain, some hail, but this area of rotation is the strongest one that we have. Also watching this area down towards Allegan as well. There's some suspicious views there too.
And we have had as many as almost 50,000 Consumers Energy customers reported. 47,000 Consumers Energy crews customers are reported to be without power. And again, if you do happen to head outside and you notice a down power line, stay away from it, because unfortunately a down power line in this kind of a scenario is a live power line, and they can be deadly. Here's the latest. We do have, these are the counties right now under tornado warnings. We're talking about central and extreme eastern Allegan County and now Berry County.
That's under a new one.
That's the new one that was just issued. This is until 11:30 this evening. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Martin, about 9 miles east of Allegan, and that one is moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour.
Okay, I will do a track on that one as we speak. And you know, it's always interesting when you look at something and can say, oh, that looks concerning, and then there's a warning that's issued. So we have 10:54 p.m. Martin, 11:03 Orangeville, 11:11 Delton, 11:16 Schultz, 11:21 the Pennock Hospital, and 11:22 Hastings. So this storm is moving a little bit slower than the previous motion, so it will take a little bit longer to get there. I'll put this in motion over the last 15 minutes and we can see how it's been changing. But, ooh, there we go. Ooh, definitely looks like it has intensified in the last scan that we got. The rotation appears much tighter here now that it's just crossed to the east of 131 in between Watson and Hooper.
And we're going to take a look here at actually a camera that we have that's located right near that most intense area of rotation. This is the Gun Lake Casino. That's US 131. And notice the trees there, just how rapidly. I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see reports here of winds at least 70 miles an hour. I mean, those are trees that are stable trees, sturdy trees, and you can just see the intensity now of the wind and the heavy rainfall that is coming together right there. So again, if you're in the path of this storm, we want you to take cover. Head to your safe place as just immediately.
And I'm also continuing to watch what's going on towards Caledonia. We're very, very close to the radar, so it's hard to tell, but looking at the velocity, there is certainly rotation there right near Caledonia, areas that have already seen at least one tornado this year. The rotation broadening out a little bit, but we'll have to wait another 5 minutes or so until this clears the area of the radar, where we can get some better views to see if that is truly what's happening. But looking at the reflectivity here, it's very clear that we have some rotation that is happening right now in Caledonia or near Caledonia. So if you live around Caledonia, if you live east of Caledonia, you need to be in your safe place now.
We do have one, I guess, bright spot here. The severe thunderstorm warning for Ottawa, Mason, Muskegon, and Oceana counties has now expired. That is now, so you are still under the tornado watch, but the severe thunderstorm warning has now been allowed to expire. So at least that's some good news.
That is some good news.
But again, if you are someone who is going out to take a look around just to see if there was any damage in your area, keep in mind that we have had almost 50,000 Consumers Energy customers reported to be without power, and if you notice a down power line, you need to stay away from it and call 911 to report it. You definitely do not want to go anywhere near a down power line. In this kind of a scenario, a down power line should be considered a live power line.
Good call. Oh, it looks like this might be a confirmed tornado warning. It looks like that might have upgraded towards the Martin area. There's, oh yes, there's a lot of debris lofted in the air right now around Martin. That just popped up, and the debris signature is widening, which usually means that we have a tornado on the ground actively doing damage and potentially strengthening. So this is very close to the Hooper community. I'm going to do a track on this. Terry, can you tell me what the speed is on this, please?
And that one was 45 miles per hour.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're in any of these communities, there is a confirmed tornado on the ground.
Eastern
You need
Allegan
to
County.
take cover immediately. Orangeville, Pine Lake, Hastings, Thornapple Lake, Nashville, Vermontville. If you are in this area, there is good evidence that there is a tornado on the ground, and you need to be in your safe place.
That means as far away from windows as possible, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Take a helmet, whether it's a ski helmet, a bike helmet, any kind of helmet you have for either yourself or your kids. Put that on when you head into your safe place. Make sure you have sturdy shoes on just in case as well. And you'll want to stay there until we give you the all clear. This is moving at about 45 miles an hour. I'm going to give you a little bit of a wider view here, so those who may just be joining and want to see a little bit of a bigger view for what's happening with the weather. This is a tornado warning for the eastern portions of Allegan County moving into Berry County. This is very close to the Martin area and moving towards Orangeville. That's going to be our next spot. I want to see if anything has changed here in the last scan, but we're still seeing some significant debris being lofted to the north of the Hooper community, and this is moving very quickly to the east. This tornado warning is in effect until, let's see.
It looks like that's just to the south of Gun Lake.
Yes.
Zoom right back.
Hold on. I want to just get. This is in place until 11:30 p.m. and this is a confirmed tornado, which means we know that there is a tornado on the ground doing damage. From a velocity perspective, you can see it just to the east of Martin. The last 15 to 30 minutes, it has really spun up. There's a little bit of energy here in the atmosphere, that extra bit of rotation right in the area where we thought that this could possibly happen. The rotation and the debris now has crossed over into Berry County. Area of debris that we're seeing is just to the east of Hooper. It looks like it's moving towards South Norris Road and north of the Delton community. So I'm going to go ahead and back this out for more of a county-wide look, but this is just now passing into western Berry County. This area of rotation is very strong, and over the last 10 to 15 minutes has, on our debris tracker, been showing evidence of debris. Unfortunately, our brand new scan, the radar had a little bit of a hiccup, so that is a bit difficult to track, but we know that this is very close to Hooper, and this is going to be moving towards Delton, M43, towards the Dowling community, and this is a confirmed tornado warning for the eastern parts of Allegan County, although we can pretty much safely say that the rotation is now in Berry County. So this is a confirmed tornado warning for Berry County until 11:15. Looking again at the velocity, and they fixed it, so now we can see the rotation close to the Orangeville area, in between Hooper and Yankee Springs, moving to the east at 45 miles an hour. So if you live in any part of central Berry County, whether it's west central, central, or east central, get in your safe place now. This is a tornado likely on the ground doing damage.
Yeah, we're talking Orchard Road, Pfeiffer Road, Cedar Creek Road, eventually over into South Banfield Road, Cloverdale and West Cloverdale. So once again, if you're in and around the Wall Lake area, you need to be taking cover immediately.
Pine Lake, this is on top of you almost as we speak. You got about 5 to 10 minutes until this tornado reaches you, so get in your safe place now. Schultz, this will be right in your area by 11:05. Hastings, 11:11. Quamby, 11:14. Thornapple Lake, 11:18. 11:24 p.m. the Nashville area. The warning goes through 11:15, but if the rotation holds together, I would not be surprised to see this extended because of the intensity of this area of rotation. Looks like we are seeing the rotation to the south of the 179 corridor, going towards M43 though. I'm going to back this out a little bit again and put it into motion so that we can see. And this has at least been maintaining its strength over the last 15 minutes. So checking out the debris tracker, it's still very, very visible there. Debris visible by this green dot right over the Orangeville area, and that just means that the radar is picking up irregularly shaped objects in the air, and it knows that it shouldn't be seeing that because raindrops, hail, all of those things are regularly shaped. So when we see all of these irregularly shaped things, it knows that something is wrong there, and that's how we know that there's debris.
And just a reminder to everyone, if you're hearing this, many of the television stations in West Michigan have their towers in and around this area, Middleville. And so if by chance any of these towers are hit, you want to make sure that you stay connected through our digital site, through our digital signal, and that means fox17online.com will stay connected, because there is a very good chance that if there is a tornado in this area, many of the transmitters are out there and there could be some significant damage.
Right now, it looks like the area of debris, which has widened out a little bit. It's not as concentrated as before, but it's crossing Gun Lake Road at the moment, which is a likely location of the tornado as well. So if you live in this area or anywhere close to any of these towns or communities or roads that we're calling out, get in your safe place, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, as this tornado is likely on the ground. I do want to go ahead and look at what else is happening here across the area, because we have a very large area here of West Michigan. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings going on for much of the area for gusty winds, and we have definitely seen that realized with many reports of 58 to 65 mile-an-hour winds, but that tornado threat spin-ups embedded within the lines, we've also seen that, and right now it looks like we have 2 active tornado warnings, and I don't want to forget about not just this one that we have here in Barry County, but check on what's going on in Kent County as well, because we have a tornado warning for southern Kent County as well. The rotation just passing Caledonia. To be honest, it doesn't look quite as strong as the one to our south, and we'll see what the debris tracker looks like there. It's a little fuzzy. We'll probably have to wait a couple more minutes to see what's going on with that, but that will be continuing to move out of the southeastern parts of Kent County. You're into Ionia County. I'll go ahead and do a track on that since it has been a minute here as well, taking it out for the next 30 minutes or so. This is going to be in the Freeport area at 11:09, Lake School at 11:11, Clarksville at 11:13, Morrison Lake at 11:16, 11:21 Lake Odessa, and 11:26 in the Woodbury area. Again, this is the tornado warning for southern Kent County, not the one in Barry County. We'll do that one again in a second. But this tornado warning is also still in effect, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to hit that as well. And from a wider perspective, it looks like the rotation is intensified here just to the east of Caledonia. So I'll have to keep watching that. Terry, do you see anything of note?
Well, it's interesting. We're getting a little further away from the radar site there, because the radar site is located right near the Ford International Airport. And so when we get away from that, it tends to give us a little bit of a clearer picture as to exactly what's going on. Let's take a trip back to that tornado that we know is confirmed on the ground, down just south of Yankee Springs, south of Gun Lake, east of Patterson now. And so as we continue to watch that one evolve, heading toward Hastings.
Go ahead and track this one as well. Take it out 36 minutes just to give us a little extra time.
That's right. So Pine Lake 11:06, Schultz 11:10, downtown Hastings at 11:15, Quimby at 11:19, Thornapple Lake 11:22, and 11:29 in Nashville. And once again, I'm just concerned there are so many folks out there with cottages and cabins. It's been so beautiful this week, the last couple of days. Today certainly felt very much like midsummer. A lot of folks may be camping, maybe outside, and so I really just, I hope people have been able to get to a safe place and they're able to stay there through the duration of this storm, which is probably going to take at least another half hour to 45 minutes to get through.
Absolutely, and we just got a new radar scan, so I would like to do actually a new track because it looks like it has a little bit more of a northeastward pull here, so I'm going to do this one, get about 30. It may not be significant significantly different, but for some we could
Yeah,
see some differences.
in the Pennock Hospital area, of course, you've got about 8 minutes now to take cover to get to your safe spot. 11:07 now in Hastings, Thornapple Lake at 11:14. Woodland 11:22, and into Vermontville at 11:27. So once again, covering a lot of ground very, very rapidly.
Very, very quickly. And then within the same view, we can also see our area of rotation here into eastern Kent County, which has an interesting look to it. Definitely still seeing some rotation towards the Alaska area, but there is a part of the storm called the rear flank downdraft that's trying to push out, and that's this big blob of this bulge of red that we see. That's some really gusty winds. So that may overtake the rotation, but it's still hanging on strong towards the area of 64th Street Southeast in very far southeastern Kent County.